The school gym echoed with laughter, chatter, and music as the annual, family dance night, began. Parents twirled their kids under the soft glow of fairy lights. But in one quiet corner, a little girl sat alone, her fingers twisting the hem of her sparkly dress. She was the CEO's daughter, Ava, beautiful, shy, and lost in her own world. Everyone knew she was autistic. Everyone also knew to stay away. And across the room, mopping the floor near the snack table, stood Daniel, the school janitor. A single dad. His son, Liam, was somewhere among the dancing crowd, waving glow sticks. Daniel watched his boy laugh with other kids, his heart swelling with pride and ache all at once. Life hadn't been kind to him. After losing his wife, he'd taken 2 jobs to make sure Liam never felt the absence of love or opportunity. But tonight, his broom slowed as he noticed Ava sitting there, isolated, her headphones on, watching the others from a distance. The teachers smiled politely when they passed her, but no one really saw her. The other kids avoided her. Parents whispered. Daniel frowned. He recognized that look in her eyes. The same look he'd seen in his son after his mother's funeral, a mix of confusion, loneliness, and silent longing. Poor kid, he murmured, his heart heavy. As he turned back to his mop, the music changed. A soft piano tune filled the air, the kind that made hearts slow down and listen. Daniel didn't notice Ava stand up until she was right in front of him. Her small hands trembled as she looked up at him with wide, searching eyes. "Dance with me," she said softly. Daniel froze, unsure he'd heard her right. Around them, people began whispering. A janitor. Dancing with the CEO's daughter. He looked toward the crowd. Some laughed, some frowned, and others simply stared. He could easily say no, step away, avoid trouble. But something inside him told him not to. He slowly set the mop aside and smiled. "I'd be honored," he said gently, bowing slightly like a gentleman. Ava giggled, her first real laugh that night. Daniel held out his hand, and she placed hers in his, small and hesitant. Together they began to sway. At first, it was awkward, his old sneakers squeaked, her steps stumbled, but soon, something beautiful happened. She began to smile, then spin, her eyes shining brighter than the lights above. The music wrapped around them like a hug. The room went silent. The whispers faded. For the first time, everyone saw Ava not as the CEO's autistic daughter, but as a radiant, joyful little girl. And Daniel, the janitor, had just made that possible. At the edge of the crowd, the CEO, Ms. Morgan, stood frozen, watching. Her eyes filled with tears she hadn't allowed herself to shed in years. She'd spent so long protecting Ava from judgment, from the world's harshness, that she'd forgotten how to let her live. After the song ended, Ava clapped her hands and laughed again. "You dance funny," she said, her words clear and warm. Daniel laughed too. "That's because I'm old," he replied. "But you dance beautifully, young lady." The crowd broke into applause, hesitant at first, then growing until it filled the hall. Ava bowed dramatically, and Daniel stepped back, embarrassed, scratching his neck. That's when Ms. Morgan approached. "You're Daniel, right?" she asked quietly. "Yes, ma'am," he said, straightening. "I'm sorry if," she interrupted, her voice thick. "Don't be. That was the first time my daughters danced in years." She looked at Ava, who was now spinning near Liam, both of them laughing together. "Thank you for seeing her when no one else did." Daniel shrugged humbly. "Sometimes all someone needs is a chance to feel normal." Ms. Morgan nodded, tears threatening to spill. "You know, we've been trying to find a behavioral therapist who connects with her. But maybe what she needs isn't more therapy," she looked at him thoughtfully. "Maybe she needs more people who care." The next day, Daniel received a call to meet her in her office. Nervously, he arrived in his worn uniform. Ms. Morgan greeted him with a warm smile, a sight that surprised even her employees. "I wanted to offer you something," she said. "Not charity, an opportunity. I'm starting a community program for kids with special needs, to help them integrate, to be seen. I want you to help me run it." Daniel blinked in shock. "Me? But I'm just..." "You're not just anything," she interrupted firmly. "You're the only person who looked at my daughter like she mattered. That's exactly what this world needs more of." Daniel's voice trembled. "Thank you, ma'am. But I don't have fancy degrees or big words." She smiled softly. "Neither does kindness, Daniel. From that day, the janitor's life began to change, not because of money or status, but because he dared to care. The Community Hearts program became a local miracle, helping dozens of children with autism find joy through simple human connection, dance, art, play, and love. Ava became the program's brightest light, always reminding Daniel to dance, no matter who was watching. Months later, during another school event, Ava and Liam performed a dance together, this time, with the crowd cheering from the start. Daniel stood at the back, pride swelling in his chest, tears in his eyes. Ms. Morgan stepped beside him. "Funny," she said, smiling. "You started as the janitor here." Daniel chuckled. "Still am, technically. Just with a fancier broom." They laughed. But when Ava spotted him, she waved and shouted from the stage, "Come dance with me again, Mr. Daniel." The audience erupted in applause. Daniel, red-faced but smiling, stepped onto the floor once more. And as he danced awkwardly beside the laughing kids, the entire room joined in, parents, teachers, even Ms. Morgan. For a few shining minutes, no one cared about titles, money, or appearances. They just danced together. And that night, someone in the audience whispered the words that would later go viral with the video of their dance. Sometimes, it takes the simplest man to teach the richest heart what love really means.